Welcome to Sports Cruise on UTV Africa. Your host, Chinwe Pekin. It's a full package, of course. We got you covered in everything we concern our sports from the home front. We've got Super Falcons lined up for you. Of course, so many Super Eagles players that made some quick move in the Johnson winter concluded transfer window. So we're going to take a look at that as well. Well, the midweek fixtures for Carabao Cup got you covered as well. Arsenal are into the finals against Manchester City for Arteta, first final in 6 years after he don't spend almost 1 billion. Well, we've got you covered, of course, weekend fixtures. Liverpool going to welcome Manchester City. Man United going to welcome Tottenham. Of course, Chelsea going to travel to go face Wolves. Arsenal going to dig around with Sunderland. But an appeal, if you ask me, for Arsenal. And then, of course, we got you covered with La Liga, Serie A as well. And then not forgetting, we'll say we'll get Formula 1 for you. It's a brand new season. And then we'll go touch base with Australia. Tennis, yes. Grand Slam, the first Grand Slam of the season. We got you covered as well. And of course, not forgetting, April 4th, Deontay Wilder going to face Derek Chisora. And guess what? Deontay Wilder still they believe, say, in with those two matches against Tyson Fury. And he's asking him, say, sue me, and I will prove myself in the court of law. Of course, as Sports Cruise, we are reaching you all the way from our Abuja studio, live and direct. And not day alone, it's a full house, of course, a full package with full house. They call him Otumba, the street call him Otumba, but federal government say, lie, wanna call him Babatunde Ojomo Yami. How are you doing today? Good to have you on the show.
I'm super excited to be here. Good afternoon, Chinwe Pekin.
And then we'll have a new teammate. You can call him a top striker with a height. You can fish to call him Gabriel Saliba with a height defensively. He joins us, a new teammate in the studio. Tamilahi Odunuga joins us live into the studio. Welcome to the show.
Tamilahi. To be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
If you say call Auntie me.
Yeah, you can.
Now, striker, you be a defender.
No, center back.
Center back. Yeah. Well, let's go to Abeokuta very fast. Ogun State, where our Super Falcons go to face the Teranga Lionesses of Senegal. Otumba, well, age grade football no be a problem. I'm not bothered about Super Falcons making sure say hand touch Senegal in Ogun State.
Surely I'm going to touch Senegal on Sunday at the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta. There was a bit of confusion as regards where the Super Falcons will actually play that match. They were supposed to play the game at the Lekon Salami Stadium in Adamasingba in Ibadan, but there has been some not too pleasant issues coming out from Ibadan as regards the playing surface at that stadium. So the game has been moved to Abeokuta, and hopefully everything will work out well in the favor of Mikel Arteta's side.
That's Abiola Sports Arena.
Yes,
at Abeokuta.
The head coach of the Super Falcons is Mikel Arteta, and he has given assurances that everything will work out well. For me, there should be no margin no margin for error as regards this particular fixture, because it is expected that the Super Falcons should brush aside the West African opponents. Though you can say talk is cheap, but at this level in female football, I don't think Senegal has got what it takes, to give us any unnecessary headache. See out this particular fixture, and what awaits the Super Falcons is either Guinea-Bissau or Malawi, and they will just be within touching distance of qualification for the FIFA Under-20 Women World Cup in Poland. It's going to be an interesting fixture. The Senegalese have arrived. They landed in Lagos on Tuesday. They traveled by road. I'm sure they would have seen one or two things while traveling from Lagos to Abeokuta. It should be an interesting fixture, but we expect the Super Falcons, to give us something to cheer about. I expect them, let me add this, to continue from where their seniors stopped the last time in Morocco, which is a winning trajectory. When it comes to women football, not just because I've got female children, but because I've got soft spot for women. But you can look at it from this side too. If you're looking at Lawrence 1 and the people that have brought glory to Nigeria, you've got to give it to the women. So I expect the Super Falconets to continue in that trajectory and give us something to smile about.
And then if they pull through and book a ticket for Poland, of course, our WAFCON, we would expect Super Falcons as well to continue from where they left off. And the last competition in Morocco. Though we do not know where WAFCON will be taking place at the moment. I think the CAF came out to say, well, South African Deputy Minister came out to say, well, it be like said they don't move WAFCON from Morocco to South Africa. Then the minister came out to say, well, it's not confirmed that yet, but I expect that in due time we'll have a definite destination for WAFCON, where our Super Falcons will pick up the 11th title later on this year. But our focus right now is on Super Falconets, and they must make sure say hand touch Senegal in Abeokuta this weekend. Saturday, to be precise, if the information in front of me is right. Well, Tamila, I know you love female football over years. We've seen that female football in Nigeria, in fact, is one thing that's been holding us together. Yeah. You cannot mention Super Eagles. You must mention
without the female counterpart.
With the counterpart.
Yeah, just like Mr. Otumba said, hopefully they can take a page out of the senior women's book and book a spot in the finals.
Book a spot in the finals. Well, let's talk about transfers because not just female football. The winter window don't end, but there are those of our players, should I say big guys in the Super Eagles that made their early move last month. And one of those persons is Ademola Lookman to Atletico Madrid or Tumba. Some people were of the opinion that Victor Osimhen moving to Turkey, is a setback for Nigerian football. And the talk was that he'll be linking up with Fenerbahce. And out of nowhere, Atletico Madrid popped up, and then here he is in Atletico Madrid. Otumba, Ademola Lookman. Did he save Nigerian football? Sunday Lisa said he saved Nigerian football by moving to Atletico Madrid.
Let me start by saying that aside people like us, patriotic Nigerians who are super excited that we've got a player playing at the highest level, for many of the Nigerian players I've seen over the years playing the La Liga, they play for, like, I remember Obafemi Martins played for Levante, Ike Uche played for, I think he played for Levante as well, if I'm not mistaken. Ike Chukwuche played for teams that you can regard as mid-table teams in La Liga, but playing for Atletico, that's massive for me. And aside the rest of us that are Nigerians that are celebrating this particular move, Galatasaray fans are also excited about it because it wouldn't have been good for them if Ademola Lookman had joined their fiercest rivals, talking about Fenerbahce. So they were really happy about it too, because they felt that it would have, bolstered the side of Fenerbahce. So they were excited that he didn't come to Turkey in the first place. He's moving to Atletico Madrid. A massive one for Ademola, if you ask me, after a very good
best footballer.
A very good showing in AFCON 2025. True. 157 games across all competitions for Atalanta. Scored a hat-trick in the Europa League final against Bayer Leverkusen 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Massive one. He was player of the season, back-to-back in the Serie A in 2023, 2024, 2024, 2025 seasons. For me, he did what no one expected of him at Bergamo, because Atalanta were just there, if I'm permitted to say that. But, when he joined our club, we saw his contributions, which were massive. And for me, it's no surprise that he has made that big leap to Atletico Madrid and joining forces with a team managed by Diego Simeone. He has been there for 14 years. For me, he's more or less like an ancestor. If you look at the coaches that have managed the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona, Diego Simeone has outlived every one of them. And for me, Ademola Lookman is in good hands, and we just cannot wait for him to, get his scoring boot on.
Timmy, Ademola Lookman, Atalanta. Let's go back to Atalanta. Did Atalanta let him down? Because at some point PSG was on his radar.
Yeah, I think they did. They held on to him for too long. At a point he wanted to leave, but he had issues with the coaching staff, their former coach.
True.
It was back and forth. But to be honest, I'm just really happy for him because not only on a personal level, but for African football,
True.
it sets a good initiative, passion overall. At the end of the day, he could have gone to Turkey, he could have gotten money, but he personally still wants to achieve more glory. And as a footballer, that's the best thing. When you have the accolades to your name. So him making that choice, saying, okay, leave the money aside, I'm going to go to a competitive league where Madrid,
one of the top
with
5
their
leagues in Europe.
superstars, I'm telling you, Madrid with their superstars, Barcelona with theirs, he's going to compete. And if I'm not wrong, apart from the Super Cup, hopefully he can add more silverware to his collection.
One other player that our biggest exporter, if you ask me, of course, Victor Osimhen, linked up with Galatasaray. And this comparison by Otumba, there are those who believe that Ademola Lookman made a better move than Victor Osimhen. That Victor Osimhen should have at least remained in the top 5 league in Europe. What do you make of that? Who made the better move?
I think both players made moves that will suit their careers. For Victor Osimhen, when he moved from Napoli, he needed a place where he could get some breath of fresh air.
Hello.
We all know, it's more or less like an open secret if we start talking about what he faced at the Stadio Armando Maradona in Naples. He needed to leave that place because it became toxic. And for every of the achievements that Victor Osimhen had, propelling them to winning their first Scudetto title in over 30 years. But the ill treatment and they made him look like they made him feel less of himself. So he just needed to leave that.
Atalanta almost did if not,
yes.
they did the same thing with Ademola Lookman.
Yes, they did the same. But along the line, Gasperini left, and it just seemed as if the whole issue was calm. But the young man's head had already been turned off that club. PSG came, they refused to let him go. And when the opportunity came for him to leave, he had to move. But in monetary terms, you can say that Ademola Lookman chose a club where his heart was already leading him to. Because 11 million euros was on offer if he had joined Fenerbahce. But at Atletico, we'll be earning 7 million euros. But if you compare and contrast the levels of these two clubs, they are not at the same level. At Atletico, he has a chance of going very far in the Champions League. You can't say the same with Fenerbahce. Fenerbahce are struggling. I think they're still in the Europa League. If I'm not mistaken, they lost at home to Aston Villa in their last game. Last group stage game, if I'm not mistaken.
Galatasaray, I think they played the Champions League against Man City. They're still in the Champions League. I think
that's for Victor Osimhen.
Okay, for Victor Osimhen. Okay.
Ademola Lookman joined Fenerbahce. So he stands a better chance of getting to the latter stages of the Champions League with Atletico. For Victor Osimhen, it was better he left Naples. You can say going down to Turkey is more or less like a downgrade when you consider the talent that God has blessed Victor Osimhen with. But he just needed to move. He needed a clearer head for him to chart the way forward. So moving to Galatasaray was not bad for him. At 75 million euros, that's massive. He's earning well at Galatasaray.
And there's love. He's been loved as well.
He's been loved. You saw what he did for them last season. They won the Turkish Cup. They won the Turkish League as well. And he
was the highest goal scorer as well.
Yes, breaking Mario Jadel's record from the all-time highest scorer by a foreigner. So both are in good hands. For Ademola Lookman playing under Diego Simeone, that's massive. I don't think he has played for a bigger manager, quote unquote. For me, he's more or less like a journeyman of some sort. He had played for Leicester, Fulham, RB Leipzig, Everton on loan at some point. Playing for Atalanta was a good one for him as well. Won the Europa League title. Did very well in the Champions League, though they didn't go very far. And now at Atletico, he stands a good chance of either winning the Copa del Rey and finishing in the top 4 in the La Liga and qualifying for the Champions League. So it's good for him.
Similarly, who made the better move?
To be honest, I feel like it's a story of two different people.
Yeah.
At that point, what Osimhen needed was to filter out the noise. You know, in Europe, even back home at the point before he went to Galatasaray, there was a lot of slander on his name. It was like, oh, he has issues with the
off-field issues.
Yeah,
Off-field
off-field issues. So he just had to take a step back and be like, you know what, let me go somewhere where I'm needed. Because I feel like that Galatasaray move is a stepping block. We all know the door to Europe, to the big leagues, is not closed for Osimhen.
You see him coming back. You see him coming back.
I do.
You think
I do.
Which team can afford Victor Osimhen right now?
It's more, I don't think it's about affording him. I think what has turned people off, what has turned most teams off from him is his attitude issues, not the price. Because we have seen players, I mean, last summer window, Sesko, Gyökeres, they were bought for a lot of money and they're on high payroll. So I don't think it's about the money. I think it's a factor. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely a factor, but I think they are putting 2 and 2 together, like, okay, the money plus the attitude. Off-field issues. Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do we balance it for this type of player?
Yeah.
So, but right now, I'll give better move to Lookman.
Of course, a lot of people will share that same notion with the fact that in La Liga or in Spanish League, Atletico Madrid is more like the third best team out there in La Liga. Well, not just Ademola Lookman and make move, players too moved. And the latest is Ja Aribo leaving Southampton to Leicester City. Of course, Frank the Tank going on loan from Brentford to Coventry. And then, of course, Chippa United's first choice, Chief. And Super Eagles' first choice, Chief Stanley Nwabali, saying goodbye to Chippa United. Otumba, we expected these deals, not. In fact, I know you. I'm sure you did not expect Frank to move on loan, but there are those who feels that the AFCON, tournament, pushed him down the pecking order in Brentford. But Chippa United and Chief Stanley Nwabali.
I think it's a marriage that we all expect that it will end one day. For the first choice goalkeeper of a team like Nigeria, a country like Nigeria, it is expected that he should make that move. The good thing about this whole thing is that the likes of Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns are interested in his services. And I just hope it works out. We're also hearing on the flip side that one of the biggest teams in Tanzania are also interested in his services. And permit me to say Holy Ghost fire to them because I don't see a reason why the first choice goalkeeper of Nigeria should go to the Tanzanian league. No disrespect to the league. Nigerian players are there. So many of them are there in the Tanzanian league. A notable mention has to be the third choice goalkeeper, Amos Obasoge, who plays for Singida Black Stars. John Noble, former Super Eagles goalkeeper, played there at some point in time. A couple of players have played there over the years. So for me, I want him to make that big move from Chippa United, which on a personal note, I feel they are an average side in the Betway Premiership in South Africa, and make that move to either of the top 3. It could be Super Sport, Mamelodi Sundowns, Orlando Pirates, and not forgetting Kaizer Chiefs as well. Who says he cannot?
How about moving abroad, Cyprus? How about moving abroad to all those other leagues? How about Chippa, our first choice goalkeeper, moving abroad, so remaining in South Africa?
I have my reservations about him moving to Cyprus.
Not just Cyprus. There are other European nations. There are countless European leagues out there apart from Cyprus.
Why not?
Well, it will be good for him, but I really don't think at this moment in time, Stanley Nwabali can really
age.
Aside age, I'm not sure he's got suitors from that part of the world. Right now, it just seems as if he will still be around the African continent. Who says he can't even move to North Africa? There are so many good clubs in Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco, even Egypt. Without it,
come on Morocco. You know, go like to go. You mean the tiffin tower for that? You go tiffin tower for them. Man, come on, Morocco. But Timmy, let's talk about Frank the Tank. There are those who feel that maybe him participating in Nations Cup, took away his starting, but probably his place in the team, and then he had to move to Coventry in Championship.
I mean, before that, he was still on the bench. He was coming in. He had partial minutes for Brentford on and off. So I don't really think going into the season he was a player that was going to be in the starting lineups. I feel like they already had their reservations. Maybe he would play EFL Cup, FA Cups, and all that. But what I'm basically trying to say is, before the AFCON started, like 3 matches before even they were called to go to the national team, he didn't play. He was on the bench. So that shows that with the coach, he was already down
the pecking order
before that. And even when he got back, there were still some talks here and there that, before the end of the transfer window, he was
but championship na better move. Is it a good move? A good move for him from Premier League to go join Frank Lampard.
Is what that is on the table that you collect. I didn't hear any other Premier League team that wanted him. Even if he went at this point of the season, was he sure that he was going to start? Maybe it's playing time he wants.
Well, maybe it's playing time he wants. Before we go on a quick break, guys, let's rush through to Saudi Arabia. Kante is currently in Turkey. But one of the biggest news over the week is the fact that you can call him Ororo. Some call the street, if I call him Ororo. But the government of Portugal is saying him na Cristiano Ronaldo. Well, he decided to go on strike based on the fact that PIF, that was the PIF, that's the Saudi Financial Fund, the money, the body in charge of funds for Saudi Arabian clubs, are showing more empathy towards Al Hilal, and with the fact that, of course, the man, former French international Karim Benzema, don't go join Al Hilal. Cristiano Ronaldo is feeling let down by Saudi Arabian Trust Fund, and he believes that that Al Nassr deserves more attention. He wants more business. He wants more players. And right now, he has decided to go on strike. But the question is, that man, he not really do enough for him to warrant more. Has he really done more for Al Nassr? Has he really done more for Al Nassr?
I mean, when you look at the money that he has brought into the league, the players, you can say him going to Saudi, it was the turning point. Even as a neutral, when Ronaldo went there, more eyes came into the league. So apart from, and what they signed him for was for the goals, and you can't say he has failed on that notion.
What about trophies for Al Nassr?
Yeah.
He wants more players. You want more players, but what about the trophies?
I mean, he can't say he hasn't had the help. I mean, they brought in Mane. He was teammates with Talisca. They brought in what's his name? Koeman.
Yeah.
Kingsley Coman.
This last season.
From Bayern.
So he's had the help, but I just feel like due to them not being able to take it all the way, you know, they always enter the finals,
they came short,
finals, second place. Due to them not taking it all the way, he feels a bit slight-handed by the PIF. And he's not wrong to say he wants more help. But the way he goes about it is where the issue comes up for him right now.
Otumba, has he done enough? Is he doing too much going on strike?
Let me start by saying that Cristiano Ronaldo has to face the reality that most of the top clubs in Saudi Arabia are funded by the Public Investment Fund. He's got to face that reality. Permit me to say this without trying to cast aspersions on every of the achievement that Cristiano Ronaldo has had over the years. He has, aside the increase in shirt sales and the massive followership that the Saudi Arabian League has enjoyed since he moved there from Manchester United. On the field of play, I don't see what he has done. For me, our own Ahmed Musa has done more for Al Nassr than Cristiano Ronaldo has done since he joined them, because during Ahmed Musa's time, they won trophies.
True.
You can check the records. They are there. So for me...
And they didn't have this number of stars in their team. They didn't have this pool of funds in the team as well.
So he's got to face that reality. And like one of the top shots in Saudi Arabia said, that this is Saudi Arabia, not Cristiano Ronaldo country. So he should try and face the football and not just be throwing tantrums. Just maybe Permit me to say this on a lighter note. Now we know that Bruno Fernandes learned from the best.
Thank you. Leave it there. But we'll go on a quick break, guys. We'll come back. First final in 6 years for Arteta after spending £1 billion. Is that really enough? Why Arsenal fans go to raise their shoulder, they walk out for streets? Just one final. Will they come back? Don't go anywhere. Sports Cruise on UTV Africa. We're coming back. And welcome back to Sports Cruise on UTV Africa with your host, Chinwe Pekin. What? You spend £1 billion in 6 years and then you make your first final in 6 years. Your fans supposed to raise shoulders? Otumba, you're an Arsenal fan. Come on, in 6 years, one final, Carabao Cup final. After spending almost £1 billion as a manager in Arsenal, we're not supposed to raise shoulder.
Why not?
We're not raise shoulder.
It took Sir Alex Ferguson, one of the greatest of all times as far as managers in England is concerned. It took him over 20 years before he could achieve what is called a trophy with Manchester United.
20?
Yes. Chelsea, before Jose Mourinho came, it took them 50 years. But we're talking about 6 years. Come on. Let's cut him some slack. He has, even though he has played second fiddle to Manchester City over the years, finishing second. There was a time he finished 8th, like 3 times. But we want more from him. Personally, I said it going into this season that if he doesn't win a trophy, he should be fired. Not even before he is fired, he should be brought out to the market square.
Give him better flocks. Give him better
jailed. After some years, he can be released and he can go to wherever he wants. But so far so good. They are top of the Premier League. They top the Champions League in the group stage. Carabao Cup finalist. There's still something to aim for. Win the Premier League. Go find the Champions League. Start winning the trophies with even the Carabao Cup. So £1 billion spent. Yes, we know that these days in football, if you don't splash the cash, you can't win trophies. They've splashed the cash. Let's just hope that they will reap the fruit. I know that Andre Berta and the entire management, they are just crossing their legs and waiting for Mikel Arteta to stutter and they will fire him without even looking back. He has done well for himself so far. For me, I feel that even the guys that played during his time are envious of what he has achieved so far with Arsenal.
You think so?
I know so.
Why do you say so?
Because even people that are more or less like his seniors, the Paul Scholes of this world, like I said in our last session in this same studio, that Paul Scholes is actually envious of what Mikel Arteta has achieved.
Why would Paul Scholes be envious of Arteta?
Paul Scholes should go and manage Fleetwood Town and let's see.
Does he need to manage anything? He has won everything in football as a player.
And what is he doing now? He's more or less like a failed pundit.
Temilei, this man is of the opinion that Arteta has done well. But then, our first final in 6 years. Is it the final that sets them on the path of winning the quadruple this season?
You can only answer that question after the 22nd of March. Because I feel like the problem with Arsenal is their mentality. They have the idea, they know how to play ball. 23-24 season, we saw one of the best football that any Premier League side has played.
In Arsenal.
And they still ended second. So when you put all the facts on the table, you look at it and you say, okay, they have brought in the players, they have brought in all the coaching staffs. I mean, they have a set piece coach that
a defensive coach in Gabriel Hayes as well.
Anytime that they play set pieces, he's the one coordinating them and everything. So they have all the pieces in place. But yet, maybe this season might be their season. I mean, like you said, first final in 6 years. And within those 6 years, Europa League round of 32, they got knocked out. Second place for 3 consecutive seasons.
In the Premier League.
So you just have to wait and see, okay, this final, let's see. Now they already have their opponents
in Manchester
City. So let's see what the players, and by hopefully only Merino will be out because he's out till late May. So God given, all their players are going to be around. So let's see what they will play before we can now say,
They don't collect one trophy.
maybe they can go all the way.
Otumba, I know you are happy with the fact that McGay will not be in this one, in the finals, because Guardiola, in fact, is saying they will appeal. But the news is that there's nothing like any way they will bend the rule for McGay to be in action against Arsenal in the final in Wembley.
Permit me to say this, one man down. I think it would have been a plus for Manchester City if McGay has been cleared to play in that final, but the rule is a rule. I don't want to be too direct, but if it was in this part of the world, let's tell ourselves the truth. McGay's case would have, they would have gotten over it. Manchester City's appeal would have flew, if I'm permitted to use that word. So it is what it is. The rules are clearly stated there in black ink that a player that is not registered before
the tournament,
a tournament and having played for a particular club in the past, so he is not eligible to play in that final. So he will watch proceedings in the stand from the stand. So it's a good one for Arsenal, not a good one for Pep Guardiola. He will have to twerk his formation and see the players that will be good enough to face the onslaught of Victor Gyökeres and others, like my teacher, another teacher that taught me back in the days in secondary school used to say. So it's going to be an interesting one on March 22nd, like Timmy said, at the Wembley Stadium. No holds barred match. Teacher versus student, David versus Goliath. Regardless of how you see it, it's going to be an interesting final.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed and see if, Arteta can do the needful against his former boss. Of course, a boss is always a boss. You can't change that. But away from that, while we were happy with Arsenal making the finals, let's talk about weekend fixtures. Of course, this weekend, Arsenal are still in the runnings, of course, topping the table in Premier League, topping the tables, they top the table in Champions League, they're in the group stage and the knockout stages right now. But this weekend, action-packed, Liverpool will be welcoming Manchester City. And a lot of Arsenal fans will be hoping once more that Liverpool will do the needful for them as it has been this season. Even when Arsenal played or not, they did not play. Things they work in their favor. Tell me, Lane. Yeah, Liverpool welcoming Manchester City.
That's going to be a very good match. Personally, I feel like Liverpool would go on and win that match just because of the momentum. And whenever they play Man City, it's like, especially at home, it's like something comes over them. They are ready. Everybody, you see Salah, you see the defense, Alisson, everybody is on their A game. And also, they would want to keep up in the top 4 race. I mean, they are 1 point below Chelsea, 2 points below Man U. They would want to say, okay, let's keep on going because of, from what we have seen, I mean, they have racked up some good games.
But one thing is certain, Man City cannot afford to drop a point if they want to keep up with Arsenal.
They can't.
They can't. They drew against Tottenham Hotspur the last game.
Exactly.
2-2.
And mind you, the first half, they were so good. I was literally watching that game at home and I was like, this second half, they are going to come out and they are going to kill them. And all of a sudden, the mentality dropped. We saw Haaland couldn't finish anything and he has been on a poor run of performances since. So let's see if Guardiola can, I mean, yesterday they had a very good performance across all the boards, even though their defense was a bit shaky and
against Newcastle.
And Newcastle missed some easy chances. Let's see. I mean, you can never rule them out. That's one thing about City. The day you say they won't play anything is the day that they come out and knock everybody out of the park.
Otumba, Liverpool coach Arne Slot said that beautiful football, good football is more important in Anfield than trophies, and a lot of people are coming for his head and they're saying, well, in fact, he said, judge me by this season. Don't judge me with last season. But is beautiful football more important to Anfield faithfuls than trophies?
Permit me to add a little to what Timmy has said about the Super Sunday clash at Anfield between Liverpool and Manchester City. It's 6th versus 2nd. It's going to be an interesting clash. I'll be very active. I'll try as much as possible to conclude my registration to join the Bad Belle FC on that day. It's going to be an interesting clash. For me, I feel over the years with what we've seen of Liverpool, they're always pumped up for games like
Against
this.
Man City,
And I
especially
don't
Man City.
expect anything different. Whenever they come up against Man City, like Timmy said, they play like a team that's been possessed by something you can't even really explain. So it's going to be an interesting match. I expect Liverpool to go all out smoky. With what we've seen of Mo Salah since he returned from AFCON, Ugo Ekitike, Florian Wirtz is scoring goals now. I think Manchester City will be in trouble at Anfield. Even though they will be welcoming back Ruben Diaz, he was on the bench against Newcastle last night. But I'm not sure it will be match fit, to start that game. But Pep Guardiola might have other ideas. And talking about what Arne Slot said, I just feel that the Dutchman is being economical with the truth. Because I don't understand how on earth someone that won his first Premier League title from the first time of asking is now saying that playing good football is better than winning trophies. I didn't only say that. He threw shades at Arsenal by saying that they've been depending solely on set pieces, to win games. And just maybe he needs a little reminder. I'll try as much as possible to be conservative in the way I'm going at him because he's an illustrious member
of our group.
So
The bad-headed Ben Association.
I can't go too hard on him. But this is a Liverpool side that depended 90% on set pieces when they won the Premier League title last season. Especially when they had Trent Alexander-Arnold fit for games. We see free kicks, corner kicks. He even scored direct free kicks. Are they not dead ball situations? Were those not set piece situations?
This season too, we saw
So, what was he saying? When they beat Arsenal at Anfield 1-0, it took that exceptional goal by Dominic Szoboszlai for them to, edge Arsenal in that particular encounter. So I don't know what he's saying. He's being economical with the truth. But if you want to judge a manager for the number of years he has managed teams, is it by the beautiful football he has played or the number of trophies won? So I don't know. Just maybe Arne Slot had too much coffee to drink the previous night before that interview. I don't know what was going through his head. But for me, that's a huge joke coming from a manager that won his first Premier League title from the get-go. Come on. He can do better.
Yeah, Man United will be welcoming Tottenham Hotspur this weekend as well.
You know what's going to happen.
And I don't know what's going to happen, man. You tell us what's going to happen. But Tim, tell me, what's going to happen? Your coach, Carrick, is on a run of 3 matches, 3 wins.
Yes, I've played some beautiful football.
Yeah.
Even before he came, the match against Burnley, Sesko got player of that match week. He scored 2 clinical finishes. It was just wonder goals. I don't know what's going on with our defense, but we always seem to concede the best goals that have been scored that match week. But all I can say is Sesko hat-trick.
Against Tottenham Hotspur.
I'm telling you.
For me, it's going to be an interesting fixture at the Old Trafford. Thomas Frank's side has been below par in recent times, despite the fact that they were able to claw their way back and get a good result against Manchester City. It ended 2-2. But if parallel to that particular game, we've seen boos all around when at the end of every game they played. They've been below par. But for me, I feel the fact that Dominic Solanke is back is a good one for Thomas Frank. They've been very, very short up front. Richarlison, for me, has been a below par player in the last 2 seasons.
But they're doing well in Champions League.
Like I said on a different platform, I know that Tottenham fans will wish that they can replicate that same form they've shown in the Champions League this season and show the same in the Premier League. So it's going to be an interesting game. I don't know I don't know the kind of crystal balls that Timile has seen that is making him feel that Benjamin Sesko will score a hat-trick against Tottenham Hotspur. But I just feel that this game has a draw written all over it.
Yeah. While Arsenal will be facing Sunderland, Otumba, this is a banana peel for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Sunderland no be puff go chop with that looking by your side.
Yes, Regis Lebri's side has shown that they are not just one of the teams to be counted this season. They've really shown that they are meant to stay in the Premier League. You know, judging by what we've seen of them so far this season, giant killers, giant slayers. It took a last-minute equalizer for them to earn a draw against Arsenal at the Stadium of Light. But I can tell you for free, without any fear of contradiction, that what they will experience will be total darkness at the Emirates, because Arsenal will come all out.
When I want off light, what do I want to do? When I want
Arsenal will definitely come all out in that particular in this weekend's fixture, because it was more or less like a drop point in that reverse fixture. So definitely Arsenal will try to correct the wrongs. I'm sure they will try as much as possible. I'm talking about Sunderland now. They will try as much as possible to see if Granit Xhaka will be available for this one, because it will add spice to their midfield. But regardless of who comes on to play, I expect Arsenal to go gun blazing and get maximum points in this one.
Of course, Wolves will be welcoming Chelsea with their PE teacher in Roslyn. They call him the street, call him PE teacher. I'm not the one that called him that. But of course, Liam Rossino just lost 2 matches. Most 2 matches are against Arsenal. What shouldn't be a problem for Chelsea and Pedro and of course Cole Palmer and the rest of them?
Yeah, I mean, not at all. We saw Cole Palmer, even though he came on this week, he still has that ability to transform a game. And, you know, they'll be hoping on him to start this weekend. Wolves, they haven't been really anything to talk about this season. I mean, apart from the run of games they had leading up to the new year and after the new year, at the beginning of the season, they were woeful. So right now, all we can say is Neto, Garnacho, Joao Pedro, they are going to be the key difference, because I know that Wolves are going to try and at least just get a draw. So they are going to have to look for a way to quickly disassemble that defense and just get the goals running.
Permit me to add to what Timileyin has said. It's 28th versus 5th.
Yeah.
Wolves have 8 points from 24 games. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Beyond terrible.
I think that they're relegation bound. Not to be seven them.
I've always said it.
Not to be seven them.
It's an established fact that I've always said it, that they should prepare for life in the Championship, because they are not meant to be in the Premier League. But you see, games like this can be very dicey. If Chelsea go all out with the confidence that yes, we can stroll past them at the Molineux, then they've got to be joking, because games like this are games we'll call banana peels. They can be very dicey. And like we say in my own part of the world, Tieshimba Dani, Aman Tunguni. The fact that they've been below par, they've been poor. You can say all manner of negative words about Wolves. But you see games like this, they will hold Chelsea by their balls, and Chelsea
They go squeeze them.
it will be difficult.
I mean,
But Chelsea should not go with confidence. But I feel that games like this, Rob Edwards will try to, you know, raise the psyche of his players and say, you guys should just go onto the field of play and do your thing. And they did some kind of business, and they just ended transfer window. The Norwegian striker moved from the club to Crystal Palace for about £35 million, if I'm not mistaken. I'm talking about last season. They brought Angel Gomez, the English midfielder from Olympique Marseille, on loan. That should add a bit of steel to their midfield. So it's going to be an interesting game, but Liam Rossino and his players should be very, very careful. They go too confident, they might collect.
Well, they go too confident that they might collect, and they're chasing top 4. They're chasing Champions League with Man United in front of them. They will be hoping at least to pick 3 points against Wolves, and they hope that miracle somewhere somehow favors them at Liverpool and rather Man United and Tottenham Hotspur. Well, let's leave Premier League and rush through to La Liga. We are interestingly some games this weekend. Yakwa for my front, Shapali. For Real Madrid, it has been a wonderful few days for them. Of course, if you ask me, they've rested enough. But of course, interestingly, Barcelona will be welcoming Mallorca. It's supposed to be walkover for them, guys. Walkover Barcelona, Mallorca.
It's going to be an interesting game for Barcelona. We saw what they did against Elche their last game in the La Liga. I expect Barcelona to go gun blazing again like they always do, especially against mid-table teams like Mallorca. It's going to be an interesting one. Barcelona will definitely pick 3 points.
Barcelona will pick 3 points against Mallorca.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even though Mallorca, they had an impressive showing in their last match. They won 4-1.
Against Sevilla.
Yeah, against Sevilla. But, you know, Barcelona, they just have that star power. You know, Lamine Yamal has been on fire. Even though Rafinha is out with injury, Rashford will be coming in looking to, you know, set his place that, okay, yes, I belong here after this season. So, yeah, I see Barcelona winning that game comfortably.
And another thing that will add spice to this particular game is the fact that Barcelona will be watching their backs. They are just 1 point ahead of Real Madrid. They know that if they blip, they'll come down to second, because I feel it's going to be an easy ride for Real Madrid over Valencia de Mestalla.
And of course, other matches to look out for. Let's go Madrid. I want them to look now. Might be hoping to make his debut against a very formidable side if they are in Real Betis. Meanwhile, Real Madrid go to welcome, go to travel to face up Valencia. Now so matter as I be. But before we go on a quick break, quickly, let's come back home briefly. Our own NPFL team, Kun Khalifato, for we don't decide to pack their bag and baggages and say, Lila, we not do again for NPFL. Waiting happen. They could not honor the match against El Kanami Warriors in Maiduguri, Borno. And of course, they do not have the financial power to execute their match. And they complained to the league management body, so we don't get money. But it seems like the complaint fell on deaf ears. And they were fined 10 million naira for abandoning the match, and also awarded El Kanami Warriors 3 points and 3 goals. Otumba Kun Khalifat. It's difficult for any privately owned club to survive in this league, MPFL.
Yes, it's a league that you require a lot of money. You've got to break the banks for you to sustain, for you to sustain and float a football team. For me, so many of the teams are more or less like political tools in the hands of whoever that is in charge. You know, especially the clubs that are being funded and bankrolled by state government. For privately owned clubs, it's difficult. I think what has helped a club like Remo Stars over the years is that the owner of the club is a big name. He's got a club in Portugal, so when they make sales, he tries to plow back profit and use it to run the club. For Kun Khalifa, they're more or less like a newbie in the MPFL.
They are a newbie.
So it's difficult for them to, the fact that they are still here we've got to even give them their flowers in the first place. When this whole issue, started, they wrote letters to the MPFL body that due to logistical and financial issues, they cannot prosecute that game away at the El Kanemi Stadium in Borno. But it just seems as if their letters, is either they were not received, or whoever received it at the MPFL Secretariat did not put it on the table of the person that is supposed to treat it. And it's so unfortunate that we are actually talking about this at this time and age. And this gives credence to what we always say, that what cannot happen in Nigeria does not exist. So how do you explain the fact that a professional football league is exiting MPFL, the league
in the middle of
because of issues like this? But we'll just keep our fingers crossed and see what happens. But I feel it's just a very hard one on the club. 10 million naira fine, 3 points awarded to El Kanemi and 3 goals. I feel the MPFL body needs to check within themselves and ask themselves questions. Are we actually doing the right thing?
Well, are we actually doing the right thing? Should be questions. Should be the questions a lot of people supposed to ask. But quickly, our fixtures, interestingly, Genoa, Napoli, Bologna, Parma, Sassuolo, Inter, These are some of the fixtures to look out for in Serie A, just in case your mind did aside. Verona Paisa, Fiorentina, Torino, of course, Lecce, Udinese. We'll go on a quick break, of course. Sports Cruise on UTV Africa, which was truly Chinwe Pikin. I tell you, saying full house be, of course, the street calling Otumba, government saying him Baba Tindoja. And then, of course, we'll have a new teammate, a new striker. No, he's not a defender in B, Inter Milan or Dunoga. They come back sharply. Sports Cruise on UTV Africa. Don't go anywhere. Will they come? All right, welcome back to Sports Cruise on UTV Africa with your host, Chinwe Pikin. I know today a lot of course my guys, my G, Otumba by my right, and Temileni by my left. Well, on the 4th of April, Derek Chisora and the Bruce Bomber go to face each other. Two best of friends will be facing each other in the heavyweight bout. And of course, for Chisora, he's saying, well, I don't have to throw tables. I don't have to flip tables, spit water in anyone's face. I don't need to threaten anybody. We both know what we need to do. I don't want to sell this fight with violence because there's too much violence in the world right now. But Jonto, why do no one hear this one? He said, in fact, kill me if you want, if you have the opportunity. Kill me if you can. Do whatever you want to do with me if you can inside the ring. Forget our friendship. This is business. Jonto Wider speaking. Ahead of Derek Chisora's bout, 4th of April, Otumba. It's
going to be an interesting one at the O2 Arena on April 4th. I feel that there's a whole lot to fight for. If it was football, would have said there's a whole lot to play for. But there's a whole lot to fight for in this particular bout. Deontay Wilder is 42. He has won 44 matches, lost 4, drawn 1. With 43 knockouts. For Derek Chisora, who is Zimbabwean born, he has won 36, lost 13, and about 23 knockouts, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be an interesting one. Good friends, but when they get into the ring, it will be they will drop their friendship. For Deontay Wilder, he's someone that every one of us that love pugilistic has talked about that we want to see him in the ring again. In as much as we felt disappointed that he was below par on the 2 occasions that he came up against Tyson Fury.
Even though he insists he won the bout, he still insisting. He says, "Sue me, sue me if Tyson Fury should sue him if he's saying something that's not making sense."
For me, he should not be the judge in his own case.
But he doesn't have a case.
He fought against Tyson Fury, and we saw how the Gypsy King took him out. He's giving excuses that it was what he wore. His training gear.
The walking gear that he to the ring.
Permit me to say this in Yoruba. Talo Ronse. Who sent him? Who asked him to wear what he wore? So that's on the flip side. Let him face Derek Chisora and let's see what plays out. For me, there's a gulf in class between these two because Deontay Wilder has won more against Derek Chisora. For me, Derek Chisora has not really lived up to the hype that has surrounded him over the years. But he has the opportunity to clear the doubt of people like me. But I don't even see it happening to be realistic with you guys. I feel that this is a fight for Deontay Wilder to win. And of course, Chisora, I see, you're saying, well, we are retiring together right, in this fight. We'll die here. What are 2 things? But we're going to go, both of us are retiring together. Him and Deontay Wilder, and of course, Chisora. Where your money there in this one?
It's hard to say, but, when I used to watch a lot of boxing, I just used to go on YouTube and I'll just check Deontay Wilder knockout.
And his powerful punch.
He is a beast. When it comes to, clean, effective strikes. But, sometimes, especially we saw it with Tyson Fury, he allows his, what should I call it?
His emotions.
They get the best of him. In that match, you're seeing he was throwing a lot of hooks that were not landing. He was getting himself easily agitated. And in the long run, that can be a side effect. But one thing, he's looking to go forward after this. After this.
He wants to face Alexander Usyk. He wants a belt. He wants the belt.
So it's also a tale of like 2 different parts One is looking to retire with a win as his final game, so he can be like, okay, my legacy. I ended with a win. And one is using it as a gauge to see, okay,
I'm not going down.
Let me win this game so that I can go forward and do more. But at the end of the day, when you look at the stats, you just have to side with Deontay
Wilder. Of course.
Permit me to say this. The good thing about this fight is that it's going to be a milestone for both boxers because it's going to be their 50th fight. But for me, I think Deontay Wilder's name is written all over this as a big W.
As a big W. Let's leave boxing and rush through to Formula One. And somebody, particularly for me, I think this season might be his season again. Defending champion Lando Norris is expecting more chaos in races from Formula One new rules. With the fact that there will be new rules for chassis, of course, for engines, for four tires, with new requirements. And it's saying you are going to see more chaos in races where a driver has to be a little bit more on top of all these different situations that can happen. And what will happen through the whole year, I will say there's more emphasis on drivers' ability to control all of these things. Of course, the McLaren driver said the use of the new boost button, which gives an extra burst of electrical energy, and the effect that has on the battery state of charge will be central to the new format for Formula One. Make a quickly quote it. So you will be able to force people more in different positions and create racing potentially in a better ways than you have been able to in the past, and that's probably a better thing. A good thing. Now, the thing is that a lot of people have the opinion that some teams will have more advantage, and that Mercedes boss Toto Wolff, in fact, don't stand out the warning to the rest of the teams. Face your team, face your engines, do your best. This season will be different.
Yes, with so many of the rules in Formula One, experiencing what we call reforms. We'll see new car designs, new engine designs, aerodynamics will be different. Pessimists are saying that most of the Formula One cars will feel like Formula 2. And drivers will need to do a little much more than they used to do in the past. But it is what it is. You cannot, like we always say in this part of the world, because of the way we live our lives, you cannot be doing something the same way I expected different results. Just maybe the thinkers of Formula One feel that there's a need for them to change the way the whole Formula One thing is being done so that they can get different results. We've seen, like in 2025, we saw the struggles of the man that I personally have a soft spot for, Lewis Hamilton, Sir Lewis Hamilton. I think I must add that. He struggled last season.
For Ferrari.
And over the years, we've seen how Max Verstappen has been so dominant, and not forgetting your man, Charles Leclerc too. But we saw Lando Norris out of nowhere. He just came like a newbie, a new kid on the block, and he won the championship. This time around, I think it's going to be different. But I expect the other guys to stand up and be counted. But I just believe that this whole new changes in the Formula One will give us what we call added spice and make us glue to our seat and watch proceedings when the whole thing starts. I think he's going to start in Australia. If I'm not
Australia,
mistaken.
yes, Australia.
So it's going to be an interesting season ahead in Formula One.
It has been a wonderful ride on Sports Cruise on UTV Africa. With us, Julie Chiwe Pikin. We welcome the new teammates. Of course, he's saying a defender MB within height.
We don't have Shekere. Let's beat the thing.
Welcome to the family. Thank you so much. As always, welcome. I hope to see you often. And of course, like I love to say, street saying name. Aotumba 1. That 1 is very important. But government say, well, we name na Babatunde Oje. I call him CEO, BioG's Media. Good to have you as always, Omo. Have yourself a wonderful. And that's that on the show from here, from me, you, of course, and the crew behind the cameras. We say thank you. I will see you some other time. Chiwe Pikin is my name. Plus, UTV Africa is the station. Ciao.